Peace everyone, Unmaskart here and welcome to day 14 of Inktober. Today's prompt is clock and as you can see I am doing somewhat of a hypnosis person with a pocket watch. That's what I came up with, that's what I'm going to do. Similar to yesterday, I'm just going to be using some water, some black ink and my brushes. No pens for today, is maybe I'll grab a pen or two to do some details on the pocket watch, but other than that I'm going to keep it pretty simple. Hope everybody is having an excellent weekend so far. It is unfortunate that it is winding down and tomorrow is Monday, but the good news is I'll be streaming again tomorrow, so at least you have that to look forward to. Anyways, let's check out some of the fantastic work you guys sent me for yesterday's prompt. Yesterday's prompt was guarded. Yes, yesterday's prompt was guarded, and you guys had some really interesting ideas. That's one of the things that I like about the prompts that aren't so obvious, like whale and clock. They're whale and clock. There's not a whole lot of immediate different ways to take on whale and clock. I imagine we're going to see a lot of numbering 1 through 12 for today's prompt, and we saw a lot of whales for the whale prompt because there's not very many directions to take those words. But with guarded, however, you guys came up with a whole bunch of different ideas that were really good. So I appreciate you for posting those over there in the Unmaskart Facebook group. They were a pleasure to look at, and we had 29 entries, I think. So you guys are really sticking through this Inktober stuff, so good job. Today's day 14. We're almost halfway through. By this time next week, we're gonna have like 1 week left. We're getting through it. We're surviving. So good on everybody that's doing it. Let me quickly say hello to everyone. Denisa, Stephanie, didn't forget, Stephanie, Brenda, Zanab, Hildy Sneaks, Ellie, Fluffy, Janine, Lily, I already said hello to, right? Did I already say? No, Lily, Renee, Stacy, and Barbara. Thank you all so much for coming by the live stream. Looks like the drawings are done, so I'm gonna grab some of my black ink here and I'm gonna start inking away. Similar to yesterday, I'm gonna do a bit of a wash. I'm gonna grab just a bit of ink and a whole lot of water, and I'm gonna do an ink wash on this and just have a nice light grayish value for the base before getting into adding any of the details and stuff. It seemed to work really well, and I really liked the outcome of it, so hopefully I can keep that going. Just mix it up a little bit. Anybody do anything fun over the weekend so far? I know that some of you, especially those of you in America, it's like, I don't know, like 2 in the afternoon, maybe like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, so you still got most of your Sunday. But for those of us that live on the other side of the world, my night is winding down, and so my weekend is pretty much over. So let me know what you guys did on your weekend. For this, I'm gonna do a really messy wash. I want to make this picture feel kind of dark, a little not demonic, but just a little horror-ish, I guess, scary. So I'm gonna do a little bit less neat as I did with yesterday's prompt. Try to keep yesterday's prompt pretty neat and exact. I'm gonna do just a bit of scribbling, I guess, with my brush. Yeah, and now I'm gonna have to sit here and wait for that to dry, so if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to ask. I'm going to give this a few minutes to dry before moving on to any of the details, just like I did yesterday. Hello, Sleepwalker, Jeff. Thank you guys for coming by. Looking forward to this live one. Very rare for me. Sorry, but I will watch them later. Okay. Yeah, sure. I'm 1 hour ahead of you. Yeah, I'm an hour ahead of England, UK time. $11 a.m. Pacific time. Okay, so over there on the West Coast. Wait. Really? Oh, yeah, it is. Going on 12, right? I don't know. Going on 11, maybe. I don't know. I have a hard time. Why is pencils in November? What is December? Where can I find daily prompts? Well, pencils in November is news to me. I have no idea what December is. And the daily prompts for Inktober you can find just by Googling official prompts of Inktober. It will take you to a couple different websites. You could probably just Google image it and you'll have the list pop up. But I have no idea what November... I didn't know that there's like a monthly challenge thingy going on in November or December. I don't know of any. I'm sure people come up with whatever, a bunch of different things. I just do Inktober. Not sure why I torture myself, but it's fun. Is it still winter there? Actually, not really. The past few days have been super, super nice. I mean, it's been fall weather for sure, but like today was wonderful out. The sun was shining super warm, the sky was completely clear, and it was, just a light pants t-shirt kind of weather. I did wear a hoodie in the morning, but in the afternoon it was actually fairly warm, and a hoodie was not necessary. I know about mermaids in May. Yeah, I've heard about that, but I've never done it. I don't even know where that comes from. But I have heard that one. It seems kind of odd from my perspective. Just a little weird. Like, why specifically mermaids? I don't know, but it seems like a fun challenge if you really, really like mermaids. Next year I will do Pinktober and make everything in hearts and roses. Some of these themes are too heavy on me. Oh, okay. I've never heard of Pinktober. That's a new one for me. Went from summer to winter here. Yeah, that's what it usually feels like here in Poland as well. It feels like we just skip over fall. It just goes straight from like t-shirt, shorts kind of weather to straight winter jackets, don't want to go outside because it hurts kind of cold. But we were blessed this weekend. Yeah, this weekend was really nice. You can find a lot of different challenges if you look. Yeah, I believe that for sure. I just never looked. Inktober is just, I don't even know how I got started on Inktober, to be honest with you. Alright, this is dry, so I can start doing some stuff. And I'm just going to start with black. Just plain old black. I guess I don't need to dump it out. I'll just leave that open. Fantastic. Got ink on my fingers. Dry that off. Let's see. I'm trying not to miss anything in the chat, but I'm going to go ahead and start inking here. Start putting in some of these details now that my paper is dry. I'm going to kind of just do not necessarily a silhouette, but just a dark shadowed figure. That's kind of It's kind of the look that I'm going to be going for here. Dark, ominous figure with a maniacal grin. I don't do scary drawings very often, so we'll see how this goes. It's always nice to try something different. So back to my original question, anybody do anything fun for their weekend or have something planned for the rest of their Sunday? My wife and I went grocery shopping on Saturday. And then this morning I went and played Standard Showdown, which is Magic the Gathering, at my local game store with a few friends. And it was a lot of fun. I always enjoy playing Magic with my friends. Pretty much anybody not my friend, I don't really enjoy playing Magic with because I get a little bit too competitive. So if I don't know you, I usually don't enjoy playing Magic with you. Yeah, especially if you win. If I win, then it's all good. But if you win, then it's very unlikely we're ever going to become friends. It's it's kind of weird to think that I've been able to make any friends playing Magic since when I first started. I started playing last year, and I lost like every match for like 3 months in a row, and it was hard to take, but taught me some humility, and then I got good at it, and then now I get just super competitive. Even though I don't want to, in most cases, I'm not looking to get competitive, but just something about the game. I get super competitive with chess too. Oh goodness, I've thrown some fits. I haven't, now that I bring up chess, I actually haven't played much chess in the past month. I used to play like crazy, but I've been so busy, entertaining all of you lovely people, that I haven't had much time for chess. Because if I usually just play chess online, and if I start playing it, it's like one game after another. Am I learning Polish? No. I'm not even going to pretend to say yes to that. I'm not even going to pretend like I'm learning a little bit. I'm really not. It's actually something that I want to change. Polish is a very difficult language to learn, and I don't know what it is. I'm not very motivated to learn it, but at the same time, the second I leave my flat, I'm very motivated to learn it. I pick up a lot. Like I have pretty good listening comprehension when it comes to Polish. I understand about 40% of what I hear with given context. So if I understand the context, then I pick up enough words that I can semi-follow the conversation, and sometimes I can just actually react without thinking a little bit, and even semi-communicate, answering questions or something like that. So I kind of have a subtle subconscious understanding of the language at this point, but I don't get out enough. I don't use it enough. And even when I do go out, it's very easy for me to use English. It's super easy for me to use English because nearly everybody speaks English. And so I'm a little spoiled. I'm a little spoiled with that. If it wasn't the case, if it wasn't so easy for me to just communicate in English with virtually everybody I run across, I mean, really the only two people, 3 people, maybe 3. Would I say 3? Yeah, really the only 3 people that that motivate me to learn English is my wife's mom, because she doesn't speak any English and I would love to be able to have a conversation with her, and my landlord. He's a super nice guy, and it was a very awkward, very awkwardly silent elevator ride last week with him. My wife wasn't around, so it was just me and him in the elevator, and all we could do was like kind of awkwardly stare at each other, which, you know, I wouldn't want to be in an elevator with him anyway, just because it's my landlord and it's weird. But at least if I spoke Polish, you know, I could say something. I don't know what the heck I would say, but yeah. And then the third person would be my wife's boss. I've done a lot of work. I've done a couple drawings and a lot of digital art for my wife's boss for his website, and it would be really great to express my gratitude for his commissions, and he's a huge fan of my work. He makes me feel famous anytime he talks about me, and it's yeah, it would be nice to have the be able to communicate with him, because, well, for obvious reasons. And yeah, so there's not a whole lot motivating me. I got my landlord, my wife's boss. I mean, I would say the number one motivator is my mother-in-law. So after Inktober, I need to get into a good rhythm. Now that I know what you guys are looking for more on my YouTube channel, as far as just like doing live streams, like the live streams are, they are time consuming, they are hard to do sometimes, but a little nerve-wracking, more or less. But if I can just focus on doing good live streams and not having to worry as much about doing any pre-recorded tutorial type videos, then I should be able to block out a regular time each day. I mean, I should be able to do this anyway, but I should be able to block out a reasonable amount of time each day to pull out my textbooks and my Polish learning material and start focusing on it again. I mean, I have pretty good pronunciation. My Polish pronunciation, can't even pronounce pronunciation. How good could my pronunciation be? But no, my wife compliments me on my pronunciation, and she also makes fun of me for it as well. But it's definitely way past due for me to get in a good groove with learning Polish. I intend to live here for quite a while, so it's already been 2 years, and after 2 years I should have conversational Polish down, but the truth is I just didn't study at all. Like, I never really ever spent any time trying. Maybe you should do immersion learning. Nope, doesn't work. I appreciate the the suggestion, I do, but nobody's going to be responsible for me learning Polish other than myself. My wife, she wants to speak English, and I've tried to tell her, to stop speaking to me in English. You got to force me to learn Polish, but it doesn't work. and you know, I can't force her to be the reason I learned Polish. I need to force myself to be the reason, and it just wouldn't be fair to her to like tell her that she needs to do something so that I learn a language. That just isn't fair. The immersion stuff does not work with me anyway. I need for me, I'm a very systematic learner. I'm not auditory. I can't hear the Polish language and learn it. I have to just do it, and I have to practice it, and it's not something that I am naturally good at, which is why I was always terrible in school. I never learned by writing things down or listening to it over and over again. It's just not the way that I learn things. I'm a very tactile learner, and for that reason, things have to be very systematic, the way that they are expressed to me. So learning a language is not systematic. It's very ambiguous, because you learn, you know, a library of vocabulary, and then you try to learn grammar stuff that doesn't always make sense, and stuff like that just is not easy for me. Those things that don't always make sense, they tend to not be the easiest things for me to learn. So I just have to put in the time to build the vocabulary. I'd be surprised actually to try to write down all the vocabulary that I know, because I'm constantly learning words just randomly, and every now and again I just ask my wife like what a word means. Like we were walking to, like I said, we went grocery shopping on Saturday, and we were walking down the main road, and there was a billboard. I'm trying to remember what the billboard said. Dlaczego nie ma kobieta na banknotach, which is a question. Oh, it had a question mark. And I read it, and I was like, does that billboard say, why do you not have a woman on money, on a banknote? And I was right. And so I didn't know that na was on, and I didn't know the word for banknote. But I knew all the other words, and so being able to read the sentence and then ask her if that's what it meant, you know, it's the kind of things that I do occasionally. I'm actually surprised I remembered all the words from the billboard. I mean, my sister tells me I don't give myself enough credit, because when she was here, we would go out and go to restaurants or whatever, and I would order food, and I'd use my Polish and whatnot to communicate with people, and you know, it was enough Polish to impress her, but it's not enough Polish for me. That one question about Polish really made me go on a tangent, so I hope that you guys are enjoying my story here. If not, I apologize. Oh, hello, Talia. Live streaming every day for 31 days is a tough job. You're doing good, and keep it up. Keep up the spirit in the group. Thank you for that. Well, thank you, Lily. I appreciate that. Yeah, doing the 30-day streams is pretty tough, because there's like two things. One, it takes away extra time that I would otherwise have throughout the day, because I'm always trying to prepare for the next day, and I gotta figure out, okay, what the heck am I gonna draw? Because I don't think the streams would be as enjoyable if you came by and I was fumbling about with what I was working on. If I didn't already have my sketch done and had a direction for the project of the stream, I just don't think it would be as fun. So I spend a lot of time off the stream trying to make sure that I'm prepared and give you guys the best experience that I can. And then the other bit is just that, you know, it takes every day. There's no days off when you're streaming every day, and yeah, I don't let that get to me in any way. It's just yeah, it's just another aspect of it that makes it somewhat difficult. But I'm very thankful that you guys enjoy the streams, that you look forward to coming by and hanging out with me while I do this stuff and talk about how bad my Polish is, among various other topics that you guys get me to talk about. And I do hope that you guys enjoy the live streams. Obviously they'll be a bit different next month when I start back to doing just, you know, some normal stuff, plus doing my pastel tutorials. I look forward to doing those again. I really like doing the live pastel tutorials and getting your guys' questions and just teaching you what I know, and hopefully inspiring a few of you to pick up the pastels again, or for the first time. So if you guys do like this stream, if you do like my daily streams, give this one a thumbs up, and that will help voice that enjoyment a little bit, because I always check to see where it's at after I get off the stream. I just, you know, do a quick check, see how many people were watching, and how many thumbs up in comparison to the previous streams, just to kind of gauge the direction a little bit. These evening streams that I do, I know that they actually don't do as well as my midday streams, the ones that I do around 14 and 1500. I'm not sure the reason. I always thought that it would be better to do the evening streams because more people are awake in the United States. But these ones don't actually seem to do as well, both in viewership, concurrent viewers, and the views after the fact. But I do want to I want to bring up something. So like I've said a million times, I'm a numbers guy. I really like to look at the numbers, and so this month, my average minutes watched on my channel, usually I get around about 500,000 or so, a little less than 500,000 minutes watched per month. And since I started doing the streams, my minutes watched per month has doubled because of the streams. So my minutes watched are a little over 1.1 million. And to just put that into perspective, the amount of time that you guys and everyone else has watched my channel in the past 28 days is over 2 years worth of time. Like, when I saw that it jumped up so much because of the live streams, I had to quickly check how much like 1.13 million minutes is, and I was like somewhere around 780 days, or somewhere around 2 years. But it was crazy. It was like, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. I always have said that you know, no matter how large my channel gets, I'm always gonna be the same. I'm not going to let the I'm not going to use the word fame. I'm not going to let it go to my head. Like all these people are watching me. I'm so special. No, that's absolutely not true at all. But it's just crazy to think about how much time that has been spent watching the content that I create, and it's both fascinating and I don't know what the word is. Undeserved, I guess. I just don't feel like I deserve that kind of attention, but I'm glad that I'm doing something right, that people enjoy it enough to spend that amount of time watching. It's fascinating. It's fascinating to me. I was wondering how your Polish was coming along, so thanks for the update. Oh, you are welcome. Yeah. It's not really going anywhere so far, but maybe one day it will all click. It will all click and I'll realize just how many words I know. I think the problem that I have is just forming any relevant sentences. And I think maybe if I just build up my verbiage a little bit, that I'll be able to start participating in conversations a bit more. I think that's where I have my problem. I just don't have the conjugation and verbs down, and gosh, conjugation in Polish is such a gosh darn nightmare. But I don't want to spend all stream talking about Polish, so the audio is low. My audio levels didn't change. I'm not talking real loud, so maybe that's what it is a little bit. I suggest that you just put down everything that comes to mind when you hear the words, then try to form a complete idea to draw. That's how I do Inktober when I can't make the drawing from my head. Oh, yeah, it's a fun idea. For my Inktober pieces, yeah, like I said, I like to have them planned out for the sake of not spending the first hour of the stream trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm a planning person. I like the planning process, so it's not a big deal for me. You are awesome. Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. Hello, Anna. Good to see you. Because we love your live streams. Thank you, Brenda. Because it is a wonderful time for me. Thank you also, Debbie. Thank you all so much. Can you speak any other languages? I am bilingual. Yeah, I... 私は日本語を話します。Okay, you can hear me okay? That's good, that's good. Does anyone freehand? Define freehand, because how am I not freehanding right now? Am I feeling better today? Oh yes. I think I was feeling a little feverish, I think, on Friday. Yeah, I actually felt rather good after streaming Friday. I felt quite good. Thanks to you guys and my lovely wife for making the stream so fun, making me laugh. It's always good to laugh. But I didn't have a fever. after the stream, checked my temperature, and I didn't have a fever, but it just felt kind of feverish, you know, like like I was going to get sick, but fortunately I didn't. And then I just laid down, went to sleep, woke up, and felt 100% the next day, so it was all good. All good. Thank you for asking, though. I appreciate that. No sketch without an outline. So freehanding just means drawing without a sketch. Well, I don't know. I mean, I have a hard time differentiating between just drawing and drawing without a sketch, because I just don't see how those two things are mutually exclusive. I mean, if I were to just draw with my brush and not have anything written down on my paper, then I would just end up I would end up building the form of what I'm working on with my ink, and I don't see how that would be any would be any significant difference to sketching it with the pencil first. I mean, is there a benefit to not planning? Is there a benefit to not sketching? I'm not aware of one, so I'm a little curious as to why that would be a preferred method as opposed to you know, having some idea pre-sketched for the sake of the accuracy of what you're trying to depict. I mean, I would have assumed that freehand was just a reference to drawing without a reference photo, but that's why I asked what you referred to as freehand. You could make weekly streams with pulling an MTG card for prompt for next week. Those can be good inspiration just for an idea. Oh yeah. The artwork on the MTG cards is, yeah, it's very inspiring. They have a lot of really cool stuff. Really, a lot of great artists making the artwork for the card. The new set that came out, the Ravnica set that came out, has a lot of really cool artwork. Some of the best that I've seen, for sure. I mean, they all have great artwork, but specifically the Ravnica set that just came out is filled with a lot of really cool stuff. Actually, what I think I might do on one of my streams is do a card altar. I've mentioned them a few times, and I know people have asked me what they are, people that aren't really familiar with Magic. And I think I might do something like that. Pull out the airbrush as well. My airbrush isn't that loud on the stream. I tested it out, and it's not that loud when it runs. It's a really quiet airbrush compressor. No benefits at all, just only way I learn. That is why I wonder if I need to branch out. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, it wasn't like, I didn't want you to take my questions the wrong way. I was just curious, that's all. We all have our methods, so I was just I was intrigued by your question, so I just wanted to clarify things for my own. I think it's always good to branch out. You know, I've done a lot of freehand drawing, as you call it. You know, just grabbing a utensil and just drawing with no reference and no sketching, no planning, none of that. I mean, I spent most of my life doing that. It wasn't until I became like more proficient in my work, and this would have only been in the past like 5 years, that I really started to take my artwork seriously, and I started thinking about like the kind of work I wanted to create, and I took the planning stage more seriously because that's what I had learned from I guess I could just call her my art teacher, but more of a mentor than anything. But she always talked about planning, and it made sense to me. It made sense, you know, if you wanted something as complex as, you know, what you'd hope to create, then planning is just a natural part of the process that needs to take place in order to create that complexity. And so planning just became even part of the art itself. Now I spend a lot of time planning to make my life easier. If I have the tools to plan, I guess that's the way I think about it. If I have the tools to plan, then there's no excuse not to plan. And so that's kind of the philosophy I go by when it comes to my artwork. Oh, hello, Robin. Oh, I didn't see my wife come in the chat. Will I upload every single ink toner? I'm not Nimble, I'm not sure I understand your question. Every single Inktober? Maybe it was an autocorrect? Will I upload every single Inktober? So all of the Inktober drawings that I've done for this year are uploaded because they're live streams. So they're all viewable. All the work that I've created so far this year. And in fact, all the work that I created last year is also uploaded because I live streamed all of last year as well. So they're all viewable. I think the only difference between this year and last year is that I don't intend to do a sketchbook tour. Last year I did a sketchbook tour, and it was an okay video, I guess, but I probably won't be doing one this year. I don't see the purpose in it. I'm not really fond of many of the pieces I created this year anyway. Some of them are okay, but for the most part, unimpressive. So no reason to do a sketchbook tour. Last year I felt like I had some reasons to brag. I was like, yeah, I feel good about these. But this year I'm a little off my game. I think was not quite prepared. Is my wife good at art? Yes, she is. She is very good. She's a bit too critical of herself, but she is a very good artist. She has impressive drawing skills, even though she does not practice her drawing. she can kind of just replicate something just by looking at it. It's very impressive. And she has a few drawings that she's posted on her DeviantArt, I think. She has a blog as well. A true artist, the most critical of oneself. I don't know if that defines a true artist, but yeah, I would say an artist is usually their own worst critic. Yeah. I don't know if I'm too critical of myself, but I can assure you that there's very few pieces of work that I can even tolerate looking at. Almost everything I complete, I end up despising like the next day. I can only like the stuff that I create for about 36 hours, and then I just I get stuck on I guess I just get stuck on the mistakes that I know that I made in the piece. And, you know, maybe people can't see them, maybe they can if they have a critical eye, but I have a hard time seeing anything but mistakes when I make them. Okay, I give up on doing a thin line, so I'm just going to do a thick line. I should just use a pen here, and that would make my life a lot easier. Alright, time to do some more shading. Before I do that, I kind of want to do a drippy thing. Can I do drippies? Can I do drippy? Trying to do a drip. Drip. This is my idea for finishing the bottom part. Oh, there's a little bit of a drip. I don't want it to drip all the way to the bottom of the paper, but I do want it to like drip down. Drip. Oh, there we go. It's dripping. It's dripping. I got it to drip. Okay, slow down. Slow down. Slap. I'm increasing the creepy, scary factor of my drawing here by making drips. Oh, look at that. That's a cool effect. I can make it go back and forth. Okay, I think that's drippy enough. I think that's drippy enough. I just gotta wait for it to dry. In the meantime, I'll just do some shading on the hat. Oh, you're welcome, cuteness. You know I like your artwork. Is the Inktober challenge stressful or relaxing? I would say that it has potential to be both, but I would say that if it's too stressful, then you might be overdoing it a bit. I don't think that it should be inherently stressful though. For me, it's a little stressful simply because I'm doing more than Inktober. I'm doing Inktober plus daily live streams, and that can make it a bit more stressful than what other people might have with Inktober, simply just, you know, because they're not streaming every day. But it's not really all that stressful for me at all. I enjoy doing the live streams, so the stress factor is very minimal at best. As far as it being relaxing, sometimes it can be relaxing as well. I guess it just depends on the kind of artist you are, because, you know, some people just draw and relax simultaneously. Sometimes I'm kind of stressed out with drawing, because when I do it live, you know, so sometimes you know, I'm concerned about messing up in front of tons of people, but I've kind of gotten over it as I've done this for a couple years now. The live streams don't stress me out nearly as much. Usually it's only when I do tutorials now that I get kind of stressed out a little bit, because the last thing I want to do is mess up and look like an idiot. But I've gotten better. I even care less about that now. So everything is just good. There. Now I think you can see my inking a little bit. Let's see. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat. Only one finger has a fingernail, because the other fingers are curled back. You can only see the fingernail from the index finger. They're curled back. He has like a half fist. So not really a mistake. It is relaxing to watch me. Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. You're with family, no worries. We all make mistakes, and you are right out there live. You're going to make mistakes. Yeah, I make a lot of mistakes. I do. I try to, one of the things that I try to do is always stay humble with my mistakes, and if I can, I'll like verbally correct my mistakes for the teaching moment purposes during the tutorials. That's where I want to make the least amount of mistakes, for obvious reasons, you know. Yeah, making mistakes is a good learning tool. It's always better to avoid them though. If you can avoid them, then you have less to learn. All right, I think I'm gonna cheat a little bit here, and grab a pen. This not drying thing is starting to irritate me though. I want it to dry. Maybe I'll just grab a little piece of tissue and soak up some of the excess. I want this to dry, but I pulled it on there so that it would do a drippy thing, and it's barely doing a drippy thing. And instead it's just not drying. It's taking forever and starting to irritate me. Can't get my hand in the way. I don't want to mess up my drippy things. Just write in the numbers here. And then I think I'll just do a bit of splattering and call it a night. How long have I been streaming for? Oh, I've actually not been streaming for that long. This one didn't take too long for me to do. I had this one planned pretty well. So it didn't take me as long. It's very simple look. So I'm just gonna take a bit of this leftover stuff. Do some splatters. I hate cleaning up my desk after I do this stuff. Adding a bit of texture just helps the whole picture look cooler. I'm not going for anything specific, just making a mess. Tripped a little extra here and here. There. Maybe I'll do a drippy, another drippy. Right up here. There we go. Drip. Drip. Come on, catch up. What would be kind of cool in the back? I feel like there needs to be like a symbol. Maybe just a bird. Maybe just something like that. Maybe two. Just feel like there needs to be something little there. Maybe they're bats. I don't know. Something. There just needed to be a shape. Yeah, I like that. That is going to be my piece. I don't know why I wanted little bird thingies there. I just felt like it needed to have something. So that's why I added them. I use a toothbrush and slightly watered down ink for your splatters. I like to use, I use a flat brush because it has a nice, the flat brush is technically like that, like the front edge, the bristles of a toothbrush. So yeah, toothbrushes are good. They have good flicking rebound with the bristles, since they're usually made of plastic or whatever. Oh yeah. This little bit of drop. I mean, it's easy to clean up. It just makes a mess and it's annoying. But that is going to be it for my Inktober piece today. Yeah, hopefully you guys like it. And hopefully you enjoyed the live stream. I really appreciate you guys coming by and hanging out with me. Don't forget to share your Inktober pieces over in the Unmasked Family Facebook page. I have the link for that in the video description if you're not already a family member. Yeah, other than that, give the video a thumbs up and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Peace.